Hello and thanks for joining us for a CKPG News special on election 2022. Introducing you today to all of the mayoral candidates in the race. There are 6. For more, we bring in Cheryl Jan on the desk for us today. Thanks for joining me, Cheryl. An interesting race so far, 6 mayoral candidates. How do you view this?
Oh, I think this is the sounding gun. As soon as Mayor Hall decided that he was not going to be running again, that was the sounding gun for a lot of folks. Some who are experienced at civic politics and others who are not. And so, in terms of the mayor, he actually became part of civic politics in a by-election in 2001 for the School District 57. Then he spent 10 years on that as a chair and vice chair. But then 2011 he ran for council successfully, and 2014 for mayor, and 2018 again, of course, for mayor.
So this is the first election in quite some time that we're going to have a different mayor here in Prince George, or potentially, I guess. I guess 6 candidates, one of them being incumbent Terry McConaughey as well. But the common theme for all these candidates, Cheryl,
downtown. Downtown. Boy, oh boy, everyone wants to talk about downtown, and that's going to be a tough nut for this mayor and council to deal with.
No kidding, no kidding. Where do you think the challenges start? Aside from downtown, though, obviously there's more than just that here at stake. We're about to hear from the candidates in a couple seconds, but before we get into it, what should we expect?
There's going to be a lot of talk about infrastructure, aging infrastructure. We have the pool, the old Four Seasons Leisure Pool has been leveled. What to do with that property? The former Fire Hall number 1 is also going to be leveled, and what to do with that property. And the big question, of course, is the Coliseum, aging infrastructure. But it's not the only one. There's the exhibition hall grounds, there's the gymnastics building, there's the Elks Center, and not to mention what's underground, even though that's not very popular to talk about. So yeah, those are some of the things, yes. And of course, you know, what to do coming out of a pandemic, and it's going to be some new faces around the council table. So it'll be interesting. It'll be interesting.
Yep. Thanks so much, Cheryl. We might as well go to the candidates themselves here. Terry McConaughey up first.
My name is Terry McConaughey, and I have lived in Prince George for, it doesn't matter how long, but for a long time. For most of my life, I met my future husband in the halls of Kelly Road Senior Secondary. We've been married for 34 years. We have raised a family of 3 amazing humans, and we are expecting another grandchild in December. I have worked primarily in the nonprofit industry. Worked for the PGX. That was one of my favorite roles as the general manager, and we brought the Centennial Fair up off the pavement, and I am currently the executive officer for the Canadian Home Builders Association Northern BC. Why do I want to run for mayor? I have been an elected official in each 2014 and 2018, and I'm grateful. I came to the city and I asked for that opportunity, and they gave it to me. And so I think that experience, that incredible learning curve, the issues that we have had to respond to, being it, I mean, we just don't talk about the 2017 and 2018 wildfires anymore because they got replaced by a global pandemic. So there has been a real, had to put my attributes to work to support mayor, council, administration to get our city through these big things. I'm mindful that the decisions that are made and the direction that is set at the council table directly affects citizens in our city at the most basic level, at their ground level. It's where they're going to school, running their businesses, raising families, building careers, and increasingly choosing to retire. So I am ready to apply for the full-time position as the seat of mayor for the city of Prince George.
If you are the successful candidate for mayor, Terry, what is one of the issues that you hope to address?
There are several issues. One of them that is, I think, at the top, and particularly in this election cycle, is regaining the public trust. That is very important. Trust is the very basis of anything moving forward, whether it be to capture opportunities that we don't know about yet, sew up the ones that we do, or to find solutions to the issues that we are facing. So regaining the public trust, I think, is very important. In addition to that, housing and across the board and seniors issues have really come to the top for me. I think that they have some issues that we can find some resolve to, and it's been quiet because everything else has been so loud. Not because the issues that senior citizens are facing aren't as important. It has just been quieter in the last few years. So I think it's really important to tackle that.
I just want to start, Roy, a little bit about you and why you're running for mayor.
Well, I'm running for mayor because I care about the city of Prince George deeply. Sometimes my passion for this is misconstrued as, let's say, anger or over exuberance. But I care deeply about the city, and I believe that there are many things right now that need to be fixed. I've been a resident in this city, well, a long time. And I've been involved in a number of things that have affected the city in the past. And I want to help make this city the place it can be and fix the issues, fix the problems that are plaguing it right now. And that's my goal.
Talk about the issues that are plaguing it. If you were to pick one issue, Roy, that you hope to tackle if you're the successful mayoral candidate, what would it be?
Well, if you're limiting me to one, and there are many, I think the homeless issue for the downtown merchants and the city of Prince George in general is on top of my list. You see, it affects not only the livability of the downtown, it affects all aspects of the city. Tourism, education. If you're bringing your child to this city to live in a residence that's constructed downtown and you drive down there, I'm sure you're going to drive out of town. Why would you put your child in that environment? Okay? It affects that. It affects the viability of business. It clouds the future for investment and development. So it affects everything. It's not just a bunch of people in the downtown who have a concern. In my view, there's a plan here that I have to deal with it. It's a short-term, medium-term, and long-term basis to cure it. In the short term, we need enhanced security. That involves cameras, patrols by the police, housing for the street people to give them a sense of security. Now, that isn't the end at all. The medium term, I want to involve First Nations, senior levels of government, all other municipalities that are affected by this issue, and you know that it's across the province, it's across the world, but we can only deal with British Columbia, organize with their help a focus to make senior levels of government deal with this.
You mentioned at the beginning, Roy, you're a longtime Prince George resident, been in the community for quite some time. I'd imagine you have a future vision for Prince George as well. Explain to me what you think the future looks like for us here in Prince George.
I think this city has an unlimited future. This city has, unlike the anthill you live in the Lower Mainland, you have affordable housing. You have the ability to live and work here with disposable income. You have educational facilities that are first class. Your children are better off in an environment like that, other than walking down the streets of Vancouver trying to find your way through the congested traffic and finding a school or something. This is the best place to live. It will attract business when the world knows that. So one of the points I have in my platform is, because we have never presented ourselves to the world as what we are and can be, we're stultified economically and with growth. But if we present ourselves to the world as the best place to live, invest, and have a family, our future is unlimited. And I don't think the city will change so dramatically that it will undermine the fact that it is the best place to live. We can present that to the world with a concerted effort through City Council. We can do that. And the whole world will see how good we are here. Right now, if you were to go to Vancouver or Victoria and say, I'm from Prince George, you're not likely to get the idea that you're from the best place there is to live. But I want to change that. I want this city, and with the help of City Council and the citizens behind me, to make it into the best place to live, work, invest, have a family.
My name is Simon Yu. I came to Prince George back in 1975, attending high school, and back then it's called Prince George College. It's a boarding residential school, and many of my classmates now, they're the elder of a little Tene here, and then afterwards I became an engineer, and I served up in the Arctic, and I served down, I practiced down the States and in Vancouver a bit. But majority of my career is that I've been spending here in Prince George. And I watched the city grow, and I really feel that, at this juncture of the city's history, they can use an engineering point of view to perhaps lead the city to the next level. I have a true passion and vision for this area. I fully understand and fully appreciate the potential this area presents. We present at least 60% of exports of this province. And we're at the juncture between the Asia and the Americas. And we can do a lot more together as a people. And so based on what I heard, they want to rebrand the city. I just thought, the city might lost a little bit of a vision, who we are, where we're going, and maybe lost a little bit of courage. And for me, I came here with just 2 suitcases, nothing. I gained everything. I have everything given to me from this area. I just want to use this opportunity to give back to the city, to the people I love, and hopefully that is really this. There's nothing else. I'm not a real career politician, but this, from my heart, I just want to give back.
Definitely a source of passion for yourself. I can sense it, Simon. When you're thinking of your mayoral campaign here, if you were a successful candidate, what is one of the issues here in Prince George you'd like to see addressed?
I foremost like to address the homeless problem issue, and it is a complex issue. People say, is it homeless first, then drug addiction, or drug addiction cause homeless? And I believe, out of all the places around the world facing this particular problem, Prince George actually in the very good position, not only solve our problem, but perhaps even help to solve other places' problem, because we have natural resources here, we got a lumber industry here, we can build a lot of facilities and small disaster reliever homes to help the other cities. We can, as a city, as a people, we can have an industry do to what small little houses and what IKEA is like doing to the furniture industry. And if the city grew, I would love to see IKEA here as well, of course.
That might be part of your future vision as well, but Simon, yourself as an engineer must offer a unique point of view. What do you see as the future vision? What would you like to see here in Prince George?
I want to see the Prince George as a go bold forward, have a confidence. We have a grand plan for this area. We want to address affordability through growth. We want to address the city hall's transparency through practical means, not just some kind of thing talk between just at the election, but between elections. We want to engage the citizen. We need to build the community together. We need to solve the problem together as a community building exercise. And people need to sometimes put their phone away, go to the coffee shop, talk to their neighbors, and exchange ideas. This is who we are. This is a can-do city. We have the greatest, bravest people here. There's no problem we cannot resolve. There's no issue we cannot address openly in the open. And let's marching forward. I want to be the peacemaker, if nothing else, and I want to also like to, through my engagement in this particular election, to encourage the immigrants and the future immigrants to more participate in the politics. And because democracy requires participation. I'm from Hong Kong. My people over there right now don't have this particular opportunity. I treasure it. And I would love to be your mayor. And hopefully on the election day, I will earn your confidence. Thank you.
Chris, to start the first question, tell me a little bit about who you are and why you're running for mayor.
Well, I'm a child of Penticton, British Columbia. I grew up in a tourist town, and upon hitting 18, I decided to leave town as quickly as possible, like so many high school graduates. I ended up in Victoria, went to computer science degree, went to Toronto, worked for IBM Canada for a while, met my wife, came back to British Columbia, and we've been here ever since. As who I am, I'm a trained software engineer. I also have a commerce degree in accounting and marketing. So I have the education to be able to lead the city of Prince George, and I'm here with my family to live and have fun.
Our second question, if there was one issue you would address if you were to become a successful candidate right now in the city, what would it be?
The biggest issue facing Prince George right now is trust. After the pandemic, after numerous cost overruns, we've really become an issue of trying to find leaders that we can trust. We've had a terrible 4 years with the leadership that we've chosen. Some of that is pandemic related, some of that is apparently they can't do math. And they decide not to communicate and talk to people. So the biggest solution that I want to do is increase transparency to be able to bring that trust back. And that transparency is going to translate to employment for those under 40, with a goal to be able to get our kids out of our basements and living on their own.
It's a great goal. What do you see as the future vision? I'm assuming that might be part of that, but the future vision for Prince George, what do you have in mind?
Well, my idea is the slogan is the Park City of the West. Park management is one of the biggest things that we do and have an advantage of. When you look at us compared to other cities in the province that we use for comparables, we lead. And most of that is because of our climate, because we don't have to cut our lawns, we don't have to water our lawns, and we just have a snow problem. Managing that snow problem, we seem to have a handle for, even though they've cut the budget in the last year that I would like to see returned. But my vision is to be able to translate Prince George from an industrial city to a commercial city. And that is happening with or without our say, mainly because the industrial civilization is just not growing the way it used to. We've come with different needs of the environment, different needs of the economy, and different needs for public support. For an industry to come to town, they do not need 50% plus one anymore. They need 95, 97, 99% acceptance. And we don't have that anymore. So where do we go? We have to go to a commercial city. We have to become our hub city that we've always wanted to be. And go with our strengths. Park management, save Ginter's Field.
So my name's Adam Hyatt, 38 years old, born and raised here in Prince George. I'm an occupational health and safety practitioner. I work as a territory account manager for a large global manufacturer of industrial safety products. I'm running for mayor because I'm passionate about the community. I think Prince George has been poorly managed for several years. I feel that there's great potential here, but we need to make some big change, and that's what my campaign is about, big change.
Expand on that a little bit of big change in the way of one issue, Adam. If you can narrow it down, I know you probably have known there's many issues facing Prince George. I know that's part of what your campaign's about, but select one issue and expand on that, on how you would fix it as mayor.
Well, I think, there's many issues. I think my 5-point platform, each and every point is very, very important. If I had to pick the most important issue, I would say it was the homeless, drug, and mental health issues that we face in our city. The reason I think that's the major issue, there's human lives at stake. I have a 4-point plan that includes turning the Prince George Youth Custody Centre into a rehab facility, to providing affordable housing as well as essential services, and hopefully eventually gainful employment to people. So I want to offer the people who are currently experiencing hardships an opportunity for a meaningful and productive future.
I'm assuming that's part of your future vision for the city as well, but our final question for you here today, your future vision for the city, I know you've lived here for quite some time, but where do you see it going, and how do you see it to get there?
Well, I think our city is rich with natural resources. I think we're surrounded by economic opportunity. I think with the proper management and the proper respect for public money, we can be one of the most rich and prosperous cities in the nation, and that is my goal to get us there. And again, my 5-point plan to cut the fat at City Hall and reduce the burden on its taxpayers, to hold the senior executives in City Hall, I refer to as the fat cats, accountable. My 4-point plan to clean up our downtown and help with the homeless issue, to prioritize our policing for safe communities, and lastly, to get back to the basics of what a municipal government should be. And in my opinion, that's a lean, mean, and efficient infrastructure and service providing machine.
Well, my name is Lisa Mitchell. I'm formerly a legal secretary. I'm doing a little odd things here and there now, working part-time and helping out neighbors and doing more community things. I'm running for mayor because I just see that the city is hurting. From when I got here, the community spirit, the pride has really diminished, and it's sad because this is one of the most beautiful cities I've ever lived in. And so I'm wanting to get back some of the people's pride of their city again.
If you were to pick one of the issues facing Prince George, Lisa, what would it be, and how would you work to solve it if you were the successful candidate as mayor?
Well, I think, the biggest elephant in the room is the homeless situation. And we've not been addressing it properly up till this point. Like the committees, the panels have not done anything. There's no accountability. And we need to go out and we need to fix this, because this isn't a problem for the city. It's not a problem for the provincial government to fix, for the federal government to fix. This is our city. It's our problem to fix. And we're going to have to go down and talk to these people and find out, why they're there, like what's their story. And they all have stories, so we need to stop thinking of this as a solution that's going to be black and white, because it's not. It's going to be messy. It's going to be difficult. But, just like any other family, you have to have difficult conversations to move along.
Definitely, I like that point. Everyone has a story, Lisa. If you have a future vision for Prince George, what would it be, and how would you make it get there?
Well, I would like to see people start believing that we're all of one community. We're not, we're not little segments. If we all work to the betterment of this community, we're all just going to benefit. And we have to stop, blaming other people, moving on with, stop being victims, and start, taking control. We're all adults. We're all hopefully intelligent, that we can, sit down and have reasonable conversations and get this rectified. And there's a multitude of issues that are affecting this city, not just one, but we're going to have to start with them one at a time, but we got to start.
6 candidates, not a record for mayor here in Prince George, but a notable one here across the north, a trend.
Yeah, it's quite stunning how many incumbent mayors across the north are not running again. Let's hear a few, for example. Fort St. John's, Laurie Ackerman; Dawson Creek's Dale Bumstead; Vanderhoof's Jerry Thiessen's not running again; Prince Rupert's Lee Brain, and a lot of these going to be some very new faces around the North Central Local Government Association table in the fall.
Definitely. Yep. So we'll hear what voters have to say on October 15th. Until then, 6 mayors you can vote for. Cast your ballot. There'll be some advanced polling locations open in the city of Prince George as well. Cheryl and I will have team election coverage for you on election night as well. Thanks so much for joining us on this CKPG News Special, a preview of your mayoral candidates here in the city of Prince George.